Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about exponents and their rules, okay? When I say exponent rules, I mean it both ways. I'm going to teach you the laws of exponents and how awesome exponents are. Okay. I think about 3 years ago I made this chart. It's on my math board. Can you see the exponents right there? So there's x, these are all different exponent rules, okay, up till there. So it's those rules, and they help, okay, when you're in algebra 1 and that stuff. It helps, okay. So using those charts, I'm gonna teach you guys a little bit about them. Okay, exponents are pretty much short for saying something times something. Okay, so like 3 squared is the same thing as 3 times 3. But instead of saying 3 times 3, you just do 3 squared. If say you want to do 7 cubed, okay, that's 7 times 7 times 7. You don't want to write 7 times 7 that many times. You just do 7 cubed. This doesn't mean you multiply 7 times 3 or 3 times 2. You don't do that. I could have just written 7 times 3 for that. I don't have to put the 3 smaller, and I don't have to put it above the 7. No, I don't need to do that. Okay? 7 cubed, that's how you pronounce it. 7 to the, anything above that, like 8 to the 5th. Yes, 8 to the 5th. Okay, 9 to the 27th. Okay, x to the 3rd. So that's how you do it. X to the 3rd, x to the, but you don't do x to the 2nd, you do x squared. So they're just short ways to write the same thing multiplied against each other, okay? So, let's start off with the first rule. Alright, gotta make sure you guys can see that. X to the power of n times x to the power of m equals x to the power of n plus m, okay? Let's do that. So x to the power of n, so x to the power of 2 times x to the power of 3. Notice how they have the same base, okay? X is the base. If they don't have the same base, you can't combine them. So it says x to the power of n times x to the power of m equals x to the power of n plus m. So this n is m. What's 2 plus 3? X to the 5th. Okay? This is true. This works. Okay? Second rule. Alright. Let's do this. X to the n in parentheses to the power of m equals x to the n times m. Okay, sounds cool. X to the n to the m. Alright. So x to the n to the m is the same thing as x times n to the m. No, x to the power of n times m. Okay, so x squared cubed is the same thing as x to the 6th. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, x to the power of n over y to the power of n is the same thing as x over y to the power of n. So, x squared over y squared is the same thing as x over y squared. Okay? Okay, now you have to notice something else. Did you see how the exponents are the same? And this one, the bases are the same. But for this one, the exponents are the same. Okay, so you can only do this if the top and bottom exponents are the same. If it was x squared over y squared, that's how you gotta leave it just like that. You can't simplify that any further. Okay. All right. Fourth rule. Let's see. We have. Okay. X to the power of n over x to the power of m equals x to the power of n minus m. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So again, this has the same base. So x squared over x to the first is the same thing as x over 2 minus 1. It is x to the power of 1 or x. Okay? X to the n times y to the n is x times y to the n. Okay, I know this one. So now, jeez. So x times n. So x to the power of n. X squared times y squared. Okay, same exponent equals xy, or x times y squared. Okay? You have to start getting this into your mind. These are easy. Wait, I think you can see that, right? Yeah. X to the power of 1 is x, so 4 to the power of 1 is 4, 40 to the power of 1 is 40, and then x to the power of 0 is 1. Okay, any number to the power of 0 is 1, okay? 60 to the power of 0 is 1. Oh, if it's a negative number to the power of 0, it's negative 1, okay? So negative 50 to the power of 0 is negative 1. But 400 to the power of 0 is 1, okay? And this is probably, these two, no, these like 4 are probably the most complicated ones. Okay. X to the negative k equals 1 over x to the k, okay. X to the power of negative 2 is the same thing as 1 over x squared. You have to remember that. X to the negative 2 or x to the negative 3 equals 1 over x squared, okay? And yeah, okay. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. X to the a over b is the same thing as b square root x to the a. So if I had x to the power of 1/2, the same thing as 2 square root, x. 2 square root x, okay? You'll get really deep into that later, but it's just a good thing to remember, okay? So those were just the exponent rules and a little bit of exponents. So see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.